What's the best food in Minecraft? It's cookies. I spawned on a tree and immediately got to chopping wood. You see, in order to craft cookies, I would need cocoa beans and wheat. I got a jungle sapling and a bean to start myself off. For the wheat, I instantly made a composter, threw some seeds in for bone meal, and with just 2, I got my first jungle tree. I planted my first wheat seeds, but night was coming quick, and I wasn't ready for the fight that was gonna happen. The witch is being very annoying. She's healing too much. There's 2 witches. Oh god. Bam. I died a lot, but I managed to craft my first batch of cookies. I quickly set the first cookie into an item frame, and day 0 was done. Yeah, Minecraft starts you on day 0, but that just means I get more time to bake cookies. I saw Rekrap's video on getting 1,000,000 melons in 100 days, but melons suck, so I decided to get 250,000 cookies in 25 days. But if I was gonna get those cookies, I would need to seriously speed it up. So on day 1, I packed up all my things and looked for a village. Villagers are absolutely OP and will harvest wheat for you. So after a couple minutes of searching, I found a village on top of a mountain. I set up a base and started getting the materials for the farm. The farm design I was going for was by iCraftMC, and I used a lot of hoppers, which means a lot of iron. And mining is for boring people, so for iron, I was gonna make an iron farm. The iron farm I wanted to make was by Mushoden because it was the cheapest iron farm, but it needed soul sand. I set up a villager breeding area at night, and on day 2, I went mining. I found my first diamonds in a giant cave near the village, but I couldn't find any lava. I then went to the surface to try and find lava, but I just wasted my time. It was already night on day 2, and the stress of this challenge was already setting in. I was supposed to have made 20,000 cookies by this point, and I've made a grand total of 8. Day 3. I still haven't found lava, but with the diamonds, I was able to mine a ruined portal and finally go to the nether. I immediately rushed to find soul sand and got some at a lava lake. With the most expensive material obtained, I returned, made some more cookies, and crafted the rest of the materials for the iron farm. Right as it turned morning on day 4, I started construction on the iron farm. At night, I lured a zombie into the middle, which made the zombie not able to despawn, and made the farm way cheaper because name tags are expensive. I then breeded more villagers. I spent most of day 5 running around and wasting time waiting for villagers to breed, but I also made a huge mistake at the start. You see, there was carrots in the farm that generated with the village, and I could have used those to breed the villagers, but I hate the color orange, so I ate all of the carrots, and now I could only breed villagers by buying bread. I also set up my first manual farm of wheat, but without water because I'm stupid. While waiting for the villagers, I started work on the auto wheat farm. Then all the villagers were finally ready, so I started moving them into the iron farm, and half my freaking villagers blew up by a stupid creeper. I moved the villagers that I had left into the farm and it started making iron. Hey, before I continue with the video, let me give you a brief explanation on why wheat is the worst crop in Minecraft and why cookies are so hard to make. Here are 2 5x5 farms, one with wheat and one with carrots. I harvest them both and I get over a stack of carrots while I only get 24 wheat. Wheat is the only crop in Minecraft that you get 1 of when you harvest it and you have to replant it. I'll show some more reasons why this challenge is basically impossible, but I'll leave that for later. Let's get back into the challenge. I started day 7 by crafting iron armor. I keep working on the auto wheat farm and go to the nether to find fossils that I can turn into tons of bone meal. I use the bone meal to get enough seeds for the auto farm and it becomes day 8. Day 8 is when the stress slowly consumes me. All I could think about was cookies and how much time I'm wasting. But the game wanted to screw with me even more, so as I go back to the villager breeder, this is what I see. Oh my god, how did a zombie get in here? All our villagers are dead. What? So now I don't even have the villagers to put into my automatic wheat farm. Now I have to wait until I have enough iron, bring the villagers back into the breeder, and wait even more. For the rest of day 8, I work on a giant manual wheat farm so I can increase cookie production. On day 9, I returned the villagers back to the breeder and kept expanding the manual farm. From day 9 onwards, most of my time is going to be spent on manually farming wheat because otherwise there was no way I was going to get any cookies. Day 10 was the first day I actually felt like I made any progress because I spent the whole day just increasing my manual wheat farm and crafting cookies. Right as day 11 started, started, I expanded my cocoa bean rows, and I finally had enough villagers to move them into my automatic wheat farm. But little did I know how extremely useless these villagers were going to be, and how day 11 was the last day where I would keep my original goal. But of course, I forgot to hit record as I was finishing the auto wheat farm. It doesn't matter anyway, the farm is completely useless. Let me tell you why villagers are utterly useless when it comes to farming wheat. First off, villagers share food, which is the main way that these crop farms work. Farmer villagers can share every type of crop except for one, wheat. Since wheat can't be eaten, villagers craft the wheat into bread and then share that instead of the wheat. How actual wheat farms work is by filling up the villagers' inventory with stacks of seeds, so they drop the wheat on the ground that gets picked up by hopper minecarts. I didn't know this until the end of the challenge, so just know that my automatic wheat farm was a huge waste of my time, sanity, and materials. Anyway, let's roll on to day 12. This day was a halfway mark, and a turning point for the challenge. I knew for a fact it was physically impossible to get 250,000 cookies by 25 days, so what did I do? I lowered my standards. 25,000 cookies is the amount we're going for now. It also changed my playstyle for the rest of the challenge. There was no more ambitious projects I would make. Instead, I would spend hours just farming wheat and cocoa beans in a desperate attempt to reach my new goal. I'm skipping to day 16 because all I did was farm wheat and bake cookies for 3 days straight, and I definitely didn't lose the footage for those days. Yeah, definitely not. Anyway, day 16 started. I went to the nether for shroomlight to try and fix the stupid villagers. Yeah, by this point I still didn't know that villagers were trash, so I'm still struggling with them. But I did get mounds of wheat and reorganized my bean empire. I need more beans and more wheat and more beans and more wheat. So yeah, I farmed for all of day 17 and tried to make hopper minecarts to get the auto farm to produce at least some wheat, but I didn't have enough powered rails. And then I expanded my bean empire. I just cut down a giant jungle tree and put them into rows. Day 18. This was the day where I finally gave up on the automatic wheat farm. Villagers suck, so I just had to farm the wheat by hand. Hey, at least I made an absolute boatload of cookies. Okay, I had 2 problems on day 19. One is I'm going insane, but that's fine. And the other is that I'm getting too many cookies. I have to make a bunch of chests just to fill all the cookies and my base is getting cluttered. I'm gonna solve this like how I solve all my other problems. Just ignore them. So I did. Other than that, day 19 wasn't special. I'm getting to the final stretch of the challenge, and I'm just constantly farming wheat and beans. Speaking of constantly farming wheat and beans, on day 20, that's all I did. I just farmed wheat in a block game for 20 minutes straight. I hate this game. Well, day 21 I got so incredibly bored of farming wheat and getting assaulted by phantoms that I decided to make a cow farm for some actual food instead of useless cookies. On day 22, I finally got actual food, and guess what I did? Guess what I could have possibly done? Yeah, you already know by now. I farmed wheat the whole dang day, but at least I'm almost done with this stupid challenge. Day 23. I farmed and farmed and farmed some more. I even farmed all the wheat that my useless villagers didn't farm, but after another wasted 20 minutes of my life, it was day 24. Finally, the last day of the challenge. I harvested the whole top plot without caring, and it was the most fun part of this whole thing, besides being done of course. I couldn't care about cookies anymore, so for the final day, I took all the iron blocks and made myself a cozy home. I wasn't gonna farm anymore, so when it became nighttime, I slept in a bed for the first time this whole challenge. Day 25. All I could do now is look at my results. And I freaking did it! 26,000 cookies, 1,000 more than what I was going for. I'm finally done. No one try this. I wouldn't recommend it at all. I hate wheat. I'm never farming it again. Cookies suck. Just eat actual food.